After $1 billion hailstorm hits an area, your focus should be on running your business, not on insurance claims. We have helped streamline the insurance process for hundreds of roofing contractors across the U.S., and we can do it for yours too. Visit us online at c3adjusters.com and learn how we can help you save time and get claims paid faster.
Happy Thursday, everybody. Lead meteorologist John Choquette here for our daily hail forecast, but we've changed it to daily tropical update. Hail season, usually this kind of happens when we have any kind of tropical weather to talk about. The hail backs off and then the tropics take over. And so we're going to talk about that and focus in on looking ahead over the next week or so. We have one system in particular we'll be talking about leading up to this, and we'll see if we'll be out and about in a different part of the country in about a week from now. And I apologize for my colors being kind of weird. I think the camera, I might have hit a couple settings while we were out storm chasing. So I'll get that adjusted for the next video. Anyway, make sure you guys check out C3 Group. Got a commercial right there at the beginning. You have a description, link to their page in the description below, and you can check them out. If you do check them out, say Hail Trace sent you. And make sure you guys watch us on the app. You can check us out on the app. I think the live coverage that we had over the past couple days might not have pushed out to the app. I know we got to work on a couple different things to streamline that process when we're out and about mobilely, but you click that lightning bolt and you won't miss any of the forecast videos, that's for sure. And it shows on the bottom right hand corner of your screen. You can continue working and just listen to the video, or of course you can bring it up full screen and see in all its glory right there. And make sure your notifications set up. We do send out notifications if we're mapping for a hurricane. Unfortunately, Gordon didn't quite make it there. You can go to notification settings, notification options on your desktop computer, and you can get them whether it's on the app, on your email, or on the desktop. You can customize it to cities, states, or the entire nation. And with that, got the hail forecast for today. No hail expected, and this graphic is probably going to be sitting pretty right here, which is a different date on it, for the next few days. So I'm not really expecting too much to be going on across the United States for hail, outside of maybe one or two surprise events. But for the most part, I think we're going to be very quiet hail-wise. So we're making a big shift over here out into the Atlantic, about 2,000 miles off the coast. In the Atlantic Ocean, this is Hurricane Florence. It was a Category 4 hurricane yesterday while we were driving back from Alabama. But it looks like now there's been a ton of shear in the area, a ton of dry air getting in there. Hurricane's getting squished right now. It's weakened quite a bit. And well, with that, as of that last advisory, winds about 105 miles per hour. Wouldn't be surprised if it weakens a little bit more, and that is also what the National Hurricane Center is thinking. Probably going to get down to a Category 1 hurricane by the start of this weekend. But don't worry, by the time we get to about 8 a.m. on Tuesday, we have it as a major hurricane just to the south of Bermuda. I think we'll get up to a Cat 3 again. It's going to hit the Gulf Stream and get away from some shear that's been ripping apart the hurricane, and should re-strengthen going into the start of your next week. And of course, the big question will be, you see this cone of uncertainty at the very end. It has a whole bunch of areas to be checking out. The East Coast, of course, is going to be over here. So big question, are we going to curve back out to sea, or are we going to see another hurricane? We have the model intensity here. This is showing that you have that dip in strength. The models are pretty consistent with the dipping in strength, but it'll shoot back up, possibly as strong as it was yesterday, up to a Category 4 as we get closer and closer to land. So I'll be watching very carefully. Of course, major hurricanes are always a big deal, and this is why we've had a lot of issues. This is a fancy little graphic here. Basically, you don't want to see the hot colors, the reds, yellows, the oranges, even the whites way up here. You want to have the blues. That's where there's less shear. And Florence, defying all the odds, managed to get up to a major hurricane in the middle of shear and with a bunch of Saharan dust all around it, and losing the battle a little bit today. But you see, moving forward, there's areas with very little shear and also a lot of very warm, potent water for this thing to explosively re-strengthen as we get through the weekend and going into next week. And just another showing The red here is unfavorable for tropical development, and there's Florence chilling right there, fighting through that. But again, once it gets through that journey to more favorable development, we'll see it re-strengthen. And with that, where is Florence going to head right now? As of yesterday, possibly into the United States. I'm not going to be hyping this up anything crazy right now. We have quite a few days. We're 8 days out. So it's just something we're watching, and it's raising an eyebrow of, hey, this might not be just a fish storm. So this is one of the models showing. This is showing a whole variety of the different models. You see it moving towards Bermuda, and then it could go anywhere from, we're thinking anywhere from probably South Carolina to possibly up into the Northeast. Or, of course, it could curve and go back out to sea, and it's actually not going to be a big deal at all. So we're going to be watching this tomorrow, and through the weekend we'll be watching probably by about Monday or Tuesday. We will have a pretty good idea of where this guy is going to go. This is the GFS, the American model ensemble, so it's all the different versions of the model put together in one plot of just a bunch of different little lines here. The American model has been pretty consistent, it's been going out to sea, but the trend has been pushing a little further west, a little further west, a little bit closer and closer and closer to the United States. And the American model, the most recent run of the GFS that was coming out, before I got this video going, I watched it, and it has the storm going right up to my neck of the woods and probably riding right up the Connecticut River, which would be pretty impressive, to say the least. There hasn't been a hurricane that has done that since the 1930s. Not saying that's going to happen again. You're far out there. This is going to go back and forth like crazy over the next few days, but it's showing even the American model is starting to get it towards land. So we're watching more of the trends than anything. The European model is much more accurate, much more consistent with what we like to watch. It showed Gordon when the American model GFS didn't show really anything. So, and there's a lot more ensembles with this one. And it's a wide range. It could go anywhere from Florida all the way up to curving real early. And the big question is going to be, well, what caused it? Why? Why is there some showing it hitting the land, and why are some showing it curving out to sea and not being a big deal for anybody? Well, it basically is coming down to high pressure that's going to develop. And obviously, you're seeing the screen behind me. There's a trough that's going to move through. Hang on, let me get the loop back around again here. So this trough is going to move through, and then a ridge, a high pressure, is going to build in the northeast. Now, the big question is, will Florence be far enough north and far enough to the west to have the trough pick up Florence and throw her out to sea? Well, the European model especially has been saying no. They think that Florence will be a little too far south, the timing won't be right, the trough moves through, and then a ridge comes in, and that's going to steer it much further to the west, much closer to land, or in this case, with this particular run, right into the Delmarva area, hitting the Outer Banks, and then going into Virginia and towards Washington, D.C., and then eventually kind of meandering back offshore again. So the real question is going to be, how strong are we going to have a high pressure here? The stronger this is, a little further south it's going to be. The further south, and the more likely it's going to make direct hit on the United States. Now, if Florence meanders a little further north and gets picked up by the trough, then it goes out to sea, nothing really happens, and then, we'll just look on to the next couple systems that are out in the Atlantic that will be heading towards us in the future. So, a couple different scenarios. We will have a much better idea, obviously, once we get through the trough and we get this ridge building, we get the high pressure starting to kick in the northeast. Once that sets itself up, we will have a good idea of what's going to happen. We will know, man, are we going to go and pop right into the United States, or are we going to go out to sea and it's not going to be that big of a deal? So tomorrow, things might still be very uncertain, but by the time Monday rolls around, we will for sure have a much better idea of what to expect with Hurricane Florence. And if that's the case, if it looks like it's going to be making landfall, then there will be a couple-day period where we'll be driving out there to wherever it may make landfall, and we'll have coverage of that, and hopefully it'll be a little more exciting for you guys than what Tropical Storm Gordon provided for you guys watching our live stream. It was proof of concept, at least. I know our live stream worked pretty smoothly, and I'm glad that that got all set up and working flawlessly for future chases. And with that, guys, make sure you follow us on Facebook. We'll be doing updates, of course, about Hurricane Florence and any tropical systems that form out in the Atlantic. Go ahead, hit see first, and that will bring all those posts up to the top of your newsfeed. And of course, with any live coverage that we do as well, you can call us, email us, or visit our website at hailtrace.com for any comments, questions, or concerns you may have. And you can message us on hailtrace.com on intercom, lower right-hand corner of your screen, and that brings up a message to everyone on staff so we can answer that in a fairly timely manner, especially when it's in the evening or on weekends or during a holiday. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your Thursday. I'll see you again right here tomorrow at 12 p.m. sponsored by C3 Group. Again, check them out in the description below. Have a great rest of your day, everyone. I'll see you again tomorrow for Friday's Tropical Update. Have a great day, everybody.